Hey, I'm Peter Nasonov, and you are watching Do Your Zest, your source of inspiration and actionable steps to create a vibrant business and live with incredible zest. This video is the first part of the series where I'm going to be talking about passion. It's a really loaded topic with lots of people searching for the answers and just as many offering them. And what was particularly interesting for me is finding those 2-3 minute videos here on YouTube where people just nail it. They share a super duper, easy peasy, simple pimple way to find your passion. I mean, a couple of minutes and bam! You have it all figured out. I can see why this would be really appealing, but I'm not a big fan of this approach because you can lose it as quickly as you found it. It's kind of like building a house in a quicksand. Not very smart. You gotta realize that if you haven't discovered your passion by now, then most likely it's gonna be a journey of rediscovering yourself and connecting to your deep desires. That being said, I'm gonna be covering this topic in small chunks, one step at a time, giving you tips and tricks and strategies that you can implement to start creating that life filled with passion and incredible zest. All of this goodness you're gonna learn in my new series, cleverly called How to Discover Your Passion. I know, genius, right? Before we dive in, I wanna say that discovering your passion doesn't mean that you will be the most successful person in the world, or even a New York Times best-selling author, or a #1 in the box office. But it does mean that you will feel fulfilled and happy. And here's the thing about happy, fulfilled people. They do tend to have better jobs, they tend to make more money, have fun friends, and better romantic relationships. So let's kick off our passion conversation with a question. Who did you want to become when you were little? Here is my fascinating story.
When I was a little boy, I wanted to be a pilot. I never questioned my dream, nor did I think that it was somehow smaller than other kids' dreams. I just remember flying around my apartment, holding a toy plane in my hand, making this sound. It was really animated. I would take off, fly around, and land safely. Interesting. My planes never crashed. I just remember flying and being the happiest kid in the world.
Well, years later, when it was time to go study to the university and pick my future profession, guess what happened? I went to study economics. Childhood dreams were abundant, and I went on to studying and pursuing a profession that would always provide me with the bread and butter, as my father put it. And he was right. While still being a student, I got a bank job and became financially independent. There was only one little tiny problem. After a few months of working in the cubicle nations, my days got monotonous, I stopped learning new things, and I often felt bored. It became evident that the work that was keeping me busy was not my life's work. I started wondering if there was more to life. I was dreaming about doing something special, something that I love, something that I was born to do and be outrageously successful at it. I knew there were actually people living like that, but I just didn't know what my special thing was and how to figure that out. If we can understand what prompts us to the place of boredom and dissatisfaction, we can turn this around. Let's dig deeper. When I talk to people about their big dreams, all too often I hear something like, I gotta be real, as a reason not to become the best versions of themselves. But were you always that real? I certainly wasn't. I mean, I just told you the pilot story. I didn't care how real it was, I just loved flying. Here's the thing, realness as a limiting force is a result of conditioning. Now, for the next minute or so, really focus and listen carefully because I'm gonna get sciencey. Daniel Gilbert, the professor of psychology from Harvard University, calls this nesting. He says that our brain works as an anticipation machine, adding the past to the present to create its concept of the future. And all of that happens without the need to engage conscious thought. What does that mean for us? Well, ultimately, it means that we condition ourselves through giving interpretation to different events. Particularly when bad things happen, we can become guarded, closed up, or apprehensive and stop trying new things. Because whenever our brain recognizes the similarity, our own imagination can trip us up by reinforcing a concept of what's going to happen. And creating anticipation about that negative event that we've been through. And that's how we limit ourselves. We stop dreaming and wishing for more because of the interpretations that we created while going through those negative experiences in the past. The good news is that there are some pretty simple steps that you can take right now to start creating that passionate life and connecting to deep soul cravings and desires. For most of us, passion is a blend of discovery and creation. Of course, we'll cover both, but for now, let's focus on the discovery part, because first we gotta figure out what brings you true joy. So think of a cabbage. I know this is not a cabbage, I don't have a cabbage, but this is a tomato. It's red and beautiful and it goes well with the background. Your passion is the core and it's hidden behind the layers of leaves and leaves of all this conditioning I've been talking about. And what does conditioning do to us? It keeps us disconnected, living in an imaginary world of perceptions and interpretations deep in our head and away from our heart. And that's exactly where the problem is rooted. Passion is about authenticity, and most people's authenticity is hidden behind these layers that get in the way, namely the need to be or feel important. Don't fall into this trap. Passion is not about significance, importance, fame, or any other ego-driven desire. If you could trade the need for significance and instead start connecting and noticing what's going on, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm watching this amazing episode of Your Zest, then you will start connecting to your true authentic self. So assignment number 1 for today is try to slow down several times a day, as often as you can, and just take a few conscious breaths. It means that you give your full undivided attention to the act of breathing right here and now. You follow the airflow, you notice that it enters through your nostrils, goes into your lungs, fills it up, and then you release it. Another simple thing you can do is to give yourself permission to dream infinitely, unreasonably, boldly. In fact, let me give you this permission right now. Granted, you can journal about your dreams or share them with your friend or just lay on the couch and fantasize about them. Let your imagination run wild and don't censor it. There is one important refinement. The dreaming I'm talking about is not just some random act. Think of it more as a fun practice. Ideally, you should have a designated time. For example, you can journal for 20 minutes upon awakening, or think about something awesome when you get into bed for 10-15 minutes at night. You can use this question to spark your imagination. Ask yourself, wouldn't it be cool if? And then just see what comes up. Right now, that's all you gotta do. Can it be this simple? Yes, but it requires consistency and practice. We need to flex those dream muscles in order to take it to the next level. In the next video, I'll continue talking about connecting to your authentic desires. I'm gonna give you more tools to approach this topic, and then share one powerful distinction that you can experiment with and see how it works for you. Until then, go do your homework, but before you do, leave a comment below. Tell me, who did you want to become as a kid, and did you follow your childhood dreams? I would love to hear from you. If you found this video useful, please be kind and generous and share it with all of your friends. And if you want to receive even more great videos from me, then go ahead to peternasanov.com and sign up for the email updates. Keep rocking and bring that incredible zest in everything you do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!